And I mean, you kind of touch on it there, but yeah, do you have general thoughts? Is that your general, are those your general thoughts on where this club is right now? It sounds like thinking about it back, it does sound like kind of a synopsis of where this group is at. Um, yeah, because they are young. They are young. They will continue to learn. Like I feel like looking at this roster up down, you've gotten some contributions from players that maybe didn't have the years they wanted to last year, like in Angharad James Turner. Like seeing that this year, I think that was one of my big questions
Yeah,
was what the hell
absolutely.
is Has going to give you, right? I was
Yeah, she's
thinking
been
about
fantastic.
this as we've been talking. Um, like uh, someone said this in the press box the other day. I think it was Portland match, but they go, "Oh, the Sam Mezzo was on loan last year. Like she's so good. Why wasn't she here?" I was like, I don't think she gets to this point without that loan,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Um, he's been able to, as you talked about earlier, bring you this stuff, bring you this effort with Jess gone. Seeing Maddie Darlene and just like the excitement for the player she can be going forward, as we talked about. You know, I don't know. There's just I was kind of very like cautious, I think I'd say, coming into this season with this club, right? And I feel a lot better just seeing the way the defense has performed, seeing what you can get out of these young players and have gotten. We haven't even seen some of them that much. Like we've kind of hardly seen Ainsley McCammon. Like
I was shocked when
little,
she came into the Houston game.
you see what I'm saying? Like we've seen very little of her. We've seen Emery in spots, and again, it's a long season, so I don't know. I'm feeling good about the rain. Like I really am. And maybe I got sucked into a little bit of the NWSL, like the big massive additions for clubs, right? I'm like, where is mine? I want big shiny toy. Like, where is
Well,
this?
that is Lynn Biondolo, and we're not
Oh,
going to overlook that.
yes.
But
No, you get what I'm saying, right?
yes,
I was like, okay, you
it was
traded for
not
Lin.
several of those. It was like you got Lynn Biondolo, and that was sort of your one big
You're gonna
one.
like it. I
Yeah,
think part of it too was it was a trade, so you lost Jalen Howell, and I was like, all
yeah,
right, like in the first place, I wasn't super psyched to lose a Bethany Balcer, but
yeah.
I was starting to come around on the Jalen Howell train, and then and I'm like, all right, where am I? Um, so all that to say, I was worried with the sort of acquisition tab, because I was like, yes, this is Lynn Biondolo, I know what she can do,
Yeah.
but is her are you going to levy or scoring improving on one player? I hope not. I think is
Right.
exactly what I said. Um, and I feel a lot better about it. I think the club trusted what they saw from within, and they just felt that if this group could improve upon themselves, and they would take a leap, and they're seeing that to an extent. So I don't know. That's my thought on where we're at. A lot can change, but I don't know. I feel good.
Yeah, what my mind kind of goes to, and I don't remember if it was Laura or if it was Lynn who said this, but they sort of talked about, you know, maybe we're not like winning a championship this year. We're okay with that. Like we don't think that we're immediately going from 11th to winning a championship, but the aim is to like maybe become, getting a championship the next year. Like they do expect that this year is going to be a year of growth.
Mm.
And while they are going to go for the playoffs and going to, try and make a deep run, they're not expecting that. Like they're very much, because even, as we later found out, Lynn's contract is more than a
Yeah,
year.
exactly what I thought of.
And,
Yes.
several players signed to like 3-year contracts. And, as much as I still think this is probably Jess's last season, just because of how much she struggled with injury recently. Um, and I would love to send her out with the championship as much as I would have loved to send Pino out with the championship. Um, they weren't. It was not let's get a bunch of snazzy 1-year signings and and hope we win a championship that year. And I had talked to Leslie Gallimore, the general manager, about it too before the season started. And part of that is Sounders ownership bringing a long-term vision into the club for the first time in a long time.
Mm,
For a while, Leslie was just sort of plugging holes wherever they popped up when they popped up, and now they are really planning for a long-term vision of, okay, maybe we can't bring this player in this year, but maybe we'll bring them in a year from now, or maybe we'll just like keep an eye on them, or just having conversations with players in this off season and maybe not bringing them in, but knowing that those conversations went well, then having a chance to bring them in the future. So I don't think, I think the club is very reasonable about the expectations for this season. It's not a championship. That is what every team wants,
yeah.
but they are very aware of the fact that it's a very young team. It's a relatively new team. Like, it's, for the most part, it's a very young team with like a couple of the oldest players in the league sprinkled in,
Yeah.
like in the most loving and respectful way possible.
You've got Anna Maria Srnagorcevic, who, as you mentioned, is what Switzerland's all-time leading scorer.
Yeah,
You've got
G, who is South Korea's all-time leading goal
yes,
scorer,
the league's all-time minutes played leader in Lou
and games
Barnes
played.
and games play. I mean, we could go on with Lou Barnes'
Yeah,
accomplishments
so
here.
many records.
Jess Fishlock,
Who
I
is
don't need to do that with the
like 38
accomplishments list.
now. Yeah.
Um, Has is not any slouch in that either, having been around for what she's been around for,
I think
right?
she's still only like 28, 29 though.
She's not super old, but she's accomplished is the
Yeah,
point.
she's experienced because I think she started playing relatively young in Europe.
In the goalkeeper department, Cassie Miller, who we mentioned, has been around the league for a good bit.
Right, but still like 28, 29.
Yes. It's like there's a lot of knowledge here. It is funny to think about that. And then oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
Bella
and
had
then
to
like a
remind me of this.
16-year-old and some 18-year-olds.
Well, that, but Bella had to remind me of this. You get Sofia Huertas back at some point in the summer. I know
Yeah,
there's a date for it, but you get the point.
yeah,
Like, and then her contract as well.
yeah,
So yeah, it is very funny to think about that. That's a great point. Um,
yeah. So I think they're very, I hope that fan expectations sort of mirror what the club expects. Um, at the same time, they expect to get better every single game. They expect to hold themselves to high standards. Like, not thinking they're going to win a championship this year does not mean that they're not going to work their asses off and that they're not going to try and go for a championship. It just means that they are very self-aware of where they are at. Right, the Sounders ownership came in mid-season, and as Lou put it during preseason, they were already in what they were in. Like, it was great and there was hype around the ownership being back, but the season had already sort of gotten underway. Things had just sort of gone the way they did, and it was hard to get out of that. And still, the Sounders have only had one off season as owners, right? So I think there's still time for that relationship and investment to develop as well. So I do feel good about this team. I feel good that they are improving and that they have some really great, talented veterans to teach some of those younger players. And that also those younger players get some minutes. I mean, obviously, like a player like Jordan Bugg has 100% deserved. I mean, she's played, I think, like 80, 88 or 89 minutes, if not the full game, every single game. A couple times she has like come off at the very end, her stoppage time. And, it's because she's been incredible as an 18-year-old. And she deserves that, but she also is still young and still inexperienced. And that's why it's so great to have a Phoebe and a Lou next to her. And in the future, maybe Sophia. Madison Curry is like 23, 24. She's in her
yep.
second year. Emily Mason in her first year, Maddie Darlene, 21, 22. Like, these are very young players who have been impressive when they first come into the league, and it's still going to take them some time. So
I,
I do feel good about this team. I just am also like
Tempering
trying not to get heart.
expectation.
I'm trying not to be heartbroken, and I'm trying to appropriately temper my expectations.
I think, and not to kiss ass, but again, the reason that I get so excited to do this show and why I'm so, and Bella will tell you how adamant I am about doing this show,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is because you talk about this and you see the different perspective and Bella, again, since I started doing this, not necessarily the first year because they had us sitting in different places in 2021 because of COVID restrictions.
Yes.
um but since then it's like I've just learned so much about this league through Bella. I did go to the rain matches. There are photos of me at Memorial Stadium with my hair, by the way. um I know, crazy. um, I don't know if I saw any of the matches with the very interesting neon and purple kits. I don't know if I was. I'm my mom's Facebook has it. I could look.
Yeah, I think I
Um.
only saw the full neon kits in person.
Oh, Jesus.
That
I
was a
know my
time.
mom has a customized kit from the original. Like it looks good. Anyway, um. So but just to think like it's I appreciate it because we talk about this club and I love this club so much because of how we are treated by the players in the organization. And you root for these human beings in addition to our coverage, of course, which has to be unbiased. um but I think the way that I'm feeling is to get to my main point, to get away from being a sap, is that I think my hope and belief with this franchise right now is that and it's been talked about since really the sale. And you talk like, I'm going to take what Leslie said, like, I can feel and see the vision going forward. And it's nice to have that because there really wasn't that with OL. What the
100%.
hell we were doing. Like, I will always love, and I don't want to move my camera because it's so nice right now, but like, I loved watching Eugenie Le Sommer when she was here.
Oh, that was fun.
Wonderful. Such a great person.
The double header, I
Amaro,
will never forget those goal celebrations against Portland. Like what a time that was.
it was, oh well, moments. It had moments.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't know where we were going. It kind of felt like we were floating around a bit, and I didn't know who was steering the goddamn boat. I didn't know what was going on.
Well, yeah, there was no one to talk to ever.
Yeah, I don't think with us
No
or with
one was
them.
accessible.
So, you know, it just I think it's nice to have that vision. The
Yeah.
little it's just nice to win one kind of saying or meme. Like it's just nice to have a vision for once and know where we're going. So, yeah. That's a good way to kind of get towards the end of this.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch all the away games for Seattle Reign FC this year?
Away games. Well, since Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See y'all here.